Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, guys, we are going to be talking about when hookup culture backfires. So we have here a series of women who are frustrated at hookup culture. They're looking to settle down, they're looking to find their real man, their real relationship, and yet they are frustrated because apparently there are no good guys who actually want them. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into this first woman's video right here. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
I need a word with whoever made sneaky link culture the norm in dating. I just need a word because I'm fucking sick of it. I am sick to death of it.
You made it the norm. I love how you'll have these girls who will make videos like this, guys, complaining about hookup culture when they don't seem to understand. You can say no. You don't have to engage in hookup culture. You don't have to have casual bedroom fun relations with dudes that you just met off of these social media applications. You don't have to do that. When girls are saying, oh, you know, why does hookup culture exist? You don't have to actually engage in the hookup culture. You could go out there, you could find a man who's going to take you seriously. It's only when the consequences come and bite you in the backside when you can't find a man that you start to actually complain about it. Let's continue.
The dating scene is done. It's bottom barrel. It is a mess. It's a hot mess. When did it become normal for me to admit to someone, not even admit, me to tell someone when I'm dating them, I want a relationship at some point? Yeah. What?
It became normal when that's what you accepted. When you have a whole bunch of girls, not saying all girls do this, guys, right? Before the all police come to the channel. But when you have a large amount of women who will get on dating applications, who will go out there on the streets and just get with guys, not even require dates from the dudes that they're attracted to. You know, a lot of these girls, when they're out here dating, they're not requiring these fancy dinner dates these days. Okay, we are in a liberated society. Girls can go out, they can date whoever they want, but that also means that men can commit to whoever they want. Okay, so why would a guy come along and be like, you know what, I'm going to take this girl out on a fancy date, I'm going to show her that I care, that I'm very sincere, that I'm chivalrous, when the man before that guy didn't even have to buy her McDonald's? Okay, so the thing is, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You want to go out there casually date, you want to go from guy to guy, you want to engage in hookup culture, that's totally fine. But to say like, oh, when did this become the norm? It became the norm when that's what you accepted. Let's keep going.
Why is your jaw on the floor? Why are you shocked? Like, what is the point in this? What's the point in this interaction? What are we getting from it? And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, they just don't like you, babe. They don't want to commit to you. Read the room. I've read the room. Everyone is turning around saying every man that I meet at some point turns around to me and says, God, you're wifey material, you're a good girl, you're this, you're that. So why are you not wifing me?
They don't want to wife you. It's very simple, guys, okay? When dudes say these things, right? When a guy comes along and says, oh, you know, you're this, you're that. Okay, cool. Secure the commitment up front before you actually have bedroom fun with the guy. This is why it used to be the way it was back in the day. This is why, guys, we had it so that you would get married first and then you would have bedroom fun relations. If you're finding that men are just lying to you, okay, get commitment before you jump into hooking up with the guy. It's really not that hard. Okay, you want to avoid these situationships. You want to avoid being run around by men. There's a few things you can do. One, secure commitment up front first. Two, if a man is ever unsure, if he says something like, I'm not interested in being serious with you, don't date him then. If a guy says, I don't know what I'm looking for just now, don't date him then. Date the guys who are actually interested in dating you. These guys who are very attractive, who make a lot of money, a lot of them are not interested in settling down with you. Okay, they might say that they are. Okay, cool. Get them to put the proof in the pudding. You want the commitment? Get the commitment up front. But they never do that, guys. They'll jump into the bedroom fun and then they'll complain and be like, oh man, you know, he ran away. You know, like, guys, girls will take no accountability for the type of men that they choose. Okay, it's absolutely astounding to me how you'll have girls run around, they'll choose a series of guys and be like, wow, it's super weird that none of them would commit to me. Maybe you should go for the men who are actually interested in committing to you. Yes, you'll have dudes who lie. Yes, you'll have dudes who are not honest about it, but there are ways that you can weed out the dudes who are dishonest, right? In the same way that a man can weed out, for example, gold diggers and, you know, women who are only using him for money. Okay, but a lot of the girls, they don't actually want to do that because they want to keep messing with the guys that they're attracted to. Let's continue.
What the is all this about? Oh, I just don't want anything serious right now. It's because...
Okay, so the men are even saying to you that they don't want something serious with you right now. I'm gonna, like, isn't that insane, guys? How this woman will literally hear the phrase, I'm not looking for anything serious right now, and then somehow get the idea in her head that something serious is gonna happen. Like, the guy's not interested in committing to you. This is why I can't take girls seriously when they complain about hookup culture, guys, because if they were actually looking for a relationship, they would go for the men who, literally, men are communicating to you that they don't want a relationship, and somehow you're still struggling with the fact that men don't want a relationship. Like, for all this talk about wanting open, honest communication, by all accounts, the dude's openly and honestly communicating with you, you just refuse to accept it.
I know, speaking for myself, not blowing my own trumpet, I'm a good girl. I am a diamond in the rough. Because trust me, there's girls out there that are flinging it all over the place. I'm not one of them, but I'm left in the dust.
Okay, so let's talk about this. You don't get to say how quality of a woman you are. That's not for you to say. Okay, it's really funny, guys, how you'll see girls say things like, I'm fantastic, I'm such a wonderful girl, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, why doesn't the market view you as that? If you were so fantastic, if you were a diamond, right? If you were a girl who's a good girl, who doesn't go around and screw around and do all of these things, first of all, a series of questions. Why are you on TikTok absolutely covered in makeup? So if you're a good girl, here's something interesting, guys. Would a good girl jump on TikTok and scream to thousands of people for attention and complain on TikTok? I would answer no. Okay, but more than that, guys, you don't get to define these things about yourself. I've said this on many videos, guys, but if I jump on a video and say, you know what, you there watching this video, I'm fantastic, I'm the best man ever, I'm this, I'm that, cool, that's not for me to say. It's like these people who get on here and say, you know what, I'm so honest, I'm a fantastic individual. That's not for you to say. That's for other people to judge about you. Okay, and the people are judging and they're saying, you know what, I don't want to marry this girl. Which, ironically enough, by the way, there would be plenty of dudes who would be willing to marry this girl. Like, she is not terrible looking at all. She really isn't. Okay, there would be plenty of dudes who would have a marriage, who would have a relationship with you. But she, again, guys, she just doesn't want the guys who want her. So this isn't a man problem, realistically, at the end of the day. It's the standards problem that comes in. Let's keep going.
And I don't understand. I just don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened in dating. I don't know when it became such an issue to want to be with someone and to want to stick with that person.
It's not an issue. Again, there are plenty of people out there, men and women, who are looking for this exact same thing that you're describing here. You know, I agree with her, guys. Like, it is a struggle. A lot of people, they want that connection, but they just can't seem to find it. And a lot of the things that I point to, guys, and the reason why, at least one of the biggest in my mind, is because of women's unrealistic standards and expectations in a relationship. There are plenty of men who are looking for a connection, who would be willing to settle down, have a long-term relationship with you, but you just don't want the men who want those things. Now, that's not a men's fault thing. To be honest, guys, that's a women being unable to be happy with the men that they can actually attain, right? I'm sorry, you can't attain that guy who's 6'4", who's making 250k plus a year. You can't do it. You might get him for some fun here and there, but no, he's not going to marry you. No, he's not going to have a relationship with you, and no, he doesn't want to have a family with you.
You want to sleep with me, you want to spend time with me, you want to go on dates with me, you want to ring me all the time, but you don't want me to be a girlfriend. Why? Like, what do you possibly think is out there that is so much better that you can't commit to me right now?
Literally thousands of other girls who look exactly like you, right? Here's the thing. If the guy could attract you in the first place, right? If you're out here and you're looking for that top percentage guy, why does the top percentage guy want to commit to you? He doesn't actually have a reason. He can get all of these benefits, and if you don't want to hang out with him, if you don't want to do all these things, if you don't want to have the bedroom fun, okay, cool. He's going to go to the 700th Stacy that he can find on Tinder. That's why he has no reason to commit to you. Women have essentially, guys, this is a fantastic thing about modern day dating. Girls have essentially priced themselves out of the market. That's what they've done. Because guess what? If you're not willing to see that guy, if you're not willing to go hang out with him and be his girl who's not a girlfriend, there's going to be a slew of other women who are going to do that. Okay, now you don't want to settle. I've literally seen so many girls on this application, guys, say the phrase, never settle. I don't want to settle. Okay, well, you can be alone for the rest of your life then. And I don't say that to be an a-hole, guys, but that's just, you know, that's the direction that a lot of these girls are going in. If you don't want to have that if you don't want to actually take guys who are on your level seriously, that's fine. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but don't be surprised when you're single for the rest of your life and you have to adopt cats instead of having children. Let's keep going.
The grass ain't greener. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking brown. It's weedy. It's horrible. Like, you have got the creme de la creme in front of you and you're too scared to fucking put the label on it. Fuck off.
Again, first of all, men are not scared to put a label on you. It's simply a risk, and also they don't have to do it because they have other options. Second of all, classifying yourself as top of the top, you know, you're like the best girl out there for the guy. Again, this is an assessment that you're making. It doesn't mean that it's actually true. I'm so sick of people getting online, guys, and they're like, you know what? I'm so fantastic. I'm this, I'm that. And then they're like, oh yeah, it's confidence. It's not confidence. It's arrogance. There's such a big difference between saying, you know what? This is what I am, blah, 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 and actually, you know, being confident in yourself in your own mind and saying, why don't men commit to me? I'm so fantastic. I'm this and I'm that. It's entitled, it's arrogant, and this is a shock and a surprise to a lot of these girls, but men actually don't want arrogant women and entitled women. Why? Because they're a big headache. A girl who's literally super attractive and who's a giant headache to a guy will severely turn off a lot of men. He might put up with you for a bit because he finds you quite attractive, but if you're walking around with this entitled attitude, I'm a boss babe, I'm this, I'm that, you'll actually, a lot of guys will be disinterested in you after a period of time, even if they're very attracted to you, because they don't want to build a relationship with someone who's going to be giving them a headache all the time.
I don't like the term settling down. Like, oh, I'll settle down, I'll do this, I'll do that. Like, no, that's not what relationships are. Relationships are fun. Like, I don't want to settle down and have a fucking baby. I want to have fun times. I want to go for dinner. I want to go on holiday. I want to do random shit. I want to go rock climbing. I don't, but do you know what I mean? It's just fucking... I just want a partner. I just want a partnership. I want someone that I can ring up and tell about my day. Why is that so hard?
Isn't this amazing, guys? But I'll say again, this woman is not a bad-looking woman. I don't know how old she is. I can never tell with the you know, the filters and the makeup and whatnot, but she's not a terrible looking lady. Okay, so if you look at a video like this and you have this woman literally screaming at the camera saying that she can't find a man, let me ask you a question. Is it the men who are at fault here? My answer is no, it's not the men who are at fault. These girls, I don't feel sorry for them, guys, and the reason why is because they are keeping themselves single. When you want to sit down and you want to have discussions about hookup culture and about how bad it is, I agree with the woman. I think hookup culture is terrible for relationships. I don't think that it's good for men. I don't think that it's good for women. You'll have people say like, oh, it's so negative for girls to go around and catch lots of bodies. Well, is it the same for men? Yeah, I agree. It's pretty bad for men too. It's pretty unhealthy for dudes to go out here and engage in hookup culture. You run into a lot of risks. Like, there are so many just health problems associated with hookup culture, okay? You run the risk of running into lots of crazy women who are going to ruin your life. It's not good for your mental health as a man, in my opinion. Okay, I totally agree with this woman on that front. But the question is, how did she arrive to this conclusion that hookup culture is bad? You don't have to accept hookup culture. You don't have to engage in it. You know, you could go out there, you could get your Prince Charming, but he's no longer Prince Charming to you because you've had a taste of the bad boy. But let's finish up this video here.
Why has it become normal to just shag each other and have no relationship? I don't want a sneaky link. I am too old. I was too old at 16. I don't want it. I don't.
Look at that phrasing. I'm too old. Right? Now I'm at a different phase in my life where I'm looking for something more serious. That's hilarious, man.
I want to live my life. I want to live my life with my soulmate. Someone come and me. I can't do it anymore. The dating scene is atrocious.
The dating scene is atrocious, right? It's all so terrible, it's awful. Now, guys, before we continue into a couple of other pieces that I wanted to show you guys here today, a couple of articles and stories, let's have a look at some of these comments. I really wanted to show you guys to highlight where exactly we're at. The first comment on this video with 438 likes on it says, "Babe, I hear you. Even men in their mid-30s have this mentality. It's soul-destroying." You know, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier, guys, and he was saying, you know, a lot of guys in their 30s and 40s, they're not really players and stuff like that, and I actually disagree. I think a lot of the guys who get into their 30s and 40s can oftentimes be some of the biggest players, right? A lot of these guys have been around the block a couple times, whether that means they're divorced or they're just sick and tired of relationships. But dudes in their 30s out here be playing these women so hard, guys. It's honestly pretty damn hilarious to me. But let's continue with some of these comments. So Faye here says, even men in their mid-30s have this mentality. It's soul-destroying. You know, the mentality of not wanting to commit to you? Wow, very soul-destroying. You know, guys, when dudes don't get commitment from women, it's funny because a lot of guys will go, okay, so what? She doesn't like me. I'm going to move on. But apparently when a woman doesn't get commitment from a man, it's literally quote-unquote soul-destroying. Isn't that funny? Let's keep going. Someone make a support group here, says FIFA. We are tired. Ambi here says, I swear this is why I only date once or twice a year, and then I'm completely put off again. Too many options and instant ego boosts around these days. That's why, says Sugar Bomb Liverpool. You see, men don't actually get, most men, 90% of dudes, aren't actually getting these options and these ego boosts that this woman is describing. When these girls are talking about men and saying, oh, men only are going out here and there's too many options for men, they're really talking about a very small subset of men. Now, guys, let's continue into the next portion of today's episode. We're going to spend a few minutes on this, and then we're going to wrap up today's episode because this is hilarious, okay? I don't know if you guys remember, but I used to cover a lot of Reddit posts over on female dating strategy, and unfortunately, guys, female dating strategy, it shut down. Now, personally, I think we had a lot to do with the fact that they shut down. But you know what, guys? Apparently, they have a website, okay? I didn't realize that this is something where a lot of these girls are posting. And boy, is it hilarious. So check this out. We have a post here from a woman, Dolores, who makes a post titled, How to Avoid a Situationship. Because obviously, guys, a lot of these women, they're out here really struggling to avoid unclearly defined relationships. I don't know. But she says, I found this on a certain TikTok, and I thought that these are just a few really good female dating strategy aligned boundaries to have. Do not do these things unless in a relationship. So we have a girl here who's basically saying, here is how you avoid ambiguous relationships. In other words, here's how you avoid the situationship type thing. And I want you guys to notice as we go through some of the things that she's listed. So if it were me and I was saying to a woman how you avoid a situationship, I would say to the woman, secure the commitment up front and don't sleep with the guy, okay? However, in this woman's little article that she's written here, not one of these is don't hook up with the guy. So let me get this straight. You want to avoid a situation that's purely casual, but you don't suggest at all not hooking up with the guy. Isn't that amazing to think about, guys? That would be like the top of my list. If I were going to make a list for women to say, here's how you avoid ambiguous relationships, at the top of the list, I would put define the relationship. The second thing I would put is don't sleep with the guy until your relationship is clearly defined. I would literally only have 2 points on it. It's very simple. But let's jump into this woman's list here. And she says, do not do these things unless you are in a relationship. No good morning or good night texts. No late night FaceTimes, especially if you are falling asleep on that FaceTime call. No shared playlists or photo albums. No borrowing clothes for extended periods of time. No sharing locations. Don't send in pictures. No presents. Don't get intoxicated with him or call him. No breakfast or brunch. No meeting their friends or family. No TV shows that you're watching together. No canceling plans for them. No traveling to visit each other. Notice how not one of these points, guys, is don't hook up with the guy. It's like, here's how to avoid hookup culture, but she doesn't say once to avoid hooking up with the guy. That to me is just absolutely hilarious. But guys, we are going to be calling today's episode there. I had a series of other Reddit stories, but I feel like today's episode is getting a little bit too long here. So guys, make sure to leave your thoughts and your comments to what we have covered here today, guys. And as always, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next episode. Peace. Yo guys, Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hadan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.